Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 6 of 40 Something Podcast. I'm Trevor Shafer, and joining me once again, the beautiful Jerry Mullen.
Yeah, I am adorable.
You are.
I'm not as adorable as your dog.
My,
It's close.
My little doggy that's joining me this week.
Yeah. Yeah, she looks thrilled.
Yeah, she does.
Dear God, let me go.
Put me down.
I kill you. Oh. It's been 2 weeks, Trev, and, gaming news and news has happened.
Quite a bit's happened.
Ready Player One.
You did see it?
Yeah,
Oh, thank
Ready
you.
Player One. All right, so here's my feeling on Ready Player One. Well, they did deviate a lot. It's very
They
noticeable.
deviated big time. If you read the book, it helps going in just thinking that it's in the same universe, that it's not actually based on the actual narrative in the book.
Yeah. Some of the stuff I really did like was, of course, all the references to everything.
Oh, yes.
Catching one of them going like, of course I love the Iron Giant is in it, and he's a major chunk of it.
Yeah.
At least near the end of the movie, which I thought was fantastic. And Duke Nukem was in it.
Okay, hang on. We should probably say right now we are going to enter spoiler territory.
Spoiler zone.
So if you have not seen Player Ready 1, fast forward about 5 minutes and you'll be good.
Yeah. Of course, I make sure I watch it. I knew Duke Nukem was going to be in it. He was only in it briefly for a few seconds.
Before he got blown to bits.
Yeah, before he got blown to bits. But he was in it. And all the Spartans from Halo are in it, which I really enjoyed. And
do you know who was also in that scene? I didn't notice it till, I think it was IGN did a series that they actually took screen caps. He-Man was actually in that scene as well at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I like Mechagodzilla. That one made me have a whole day with that one.
I thought one of the coolest scenes was in the beginning when they're doing the race. And he goes to go underneath that truck, and he flips the DeLorean wheels and just flies underneath the truck and then comes back up.
Yeah, I said that to Kelly when we were watching it. I was like, oh, my God. I said he went into flight mode with it. And, of course, he had Bigfoot in that scene. The Batmobile was in it, and the bike from Akira, which had an Atari label on it. You had to be really, really fast to catch some of that shit. And what else? Overall, the movie was really good.
Yes.
I mean, it really was. Like I said, it's not super faithful to the book or faithful at all. Like you said, it's set in the universe. But
yeah.
That's about where it stops.
Like the inclusion of the IROC character, that they did not need that.
No.
And I was
like a token bad guy. You needed somebody to hate.
But that was with Sorrento. They kind of underused Sorrento.
And not till the end.
Well, the one thing I was pissed about, which I thought they were actually really messing with my mind, is Daito and So. It's like, no, it was Shoto in the book. And it was like, do I misremember that? And, I'm like, no, it was Daito and Shoto. It's like, instead of Daito and Sho, I'm like, Shoto.
And then there was like one of my favorite references was the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That was a great thing. The extra life coin.
A good part of the book, but not the way he originally got it.
I know, but the extra life coin, that was really nice. Of course, Adventure.
Yes.
Adventure. I remember seeing on, of course, my YouTube feed, because that's larger than life.
Oh, the CU podcast?
Yeah, they talked about how the Adventure cartridges are going up. And I think I have 2 of them.
I don't. I have Earthbound, not Earthbound.
Earthworld.
Earthworld. That's the one I have. Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of Atari's failed, contest thing that never won. And the guy that the nerd did a video on this, and the guy what was that guy that bought Atari? Damn, what's that dude's name? Nolan Bushnell?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the guy that bought it up. He has the remaining prizes. They said they're in his house.
Well, they don't think they ever made the last prize.
Well, no.
It was the chalice was made. Was it the sword was the last thing that they don't think was ever made?
Yeah, the sword was made out of. The sword was supposedly made out of silver.
Something like that with gold.
Handle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first one was the
chalice, I believe. Wasn't
chalice, I think, and then there was the pendant. I don't know. I gotta remember the price.
Was it a pendant or a crown?
The crown was one of the last ones. Atari Earth World
If only we had some kind of mass indexing of information we had access to.
prizes. Oh wait, you mean the internet?
Shit, is that what this is?
Well, it's called interweb, and it depends on where it is in your area.
Well, see, I can't do anything because I'm dialed into your computer through the phone line.
Wow. 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 What's this? The fucking Commodore 64? So it was a pendant,
Okay.
a chalice, a crown, and then there was the it's like a treasure chest with a big piece of white jade in it.
Ah, okay.
That's what the 4 pieces were. And the 5th one was the 4 people are going to come back. Wow, this got really off topic.
Off topic with Trevor and Jerry.
We should have a separate show just for this. And then the 5th one was the final prize was the sword, where all 4 were going to come back and take a shot at it. So,
and then Atari went out of business before they even got to the second prize.
I think the 3rd one, the first two prizes were given away because I know the one guy actually he took the jewels off the pendant and melted down the gold for money. I know that really did happen. But the guy who got the chalice, I believe he still owns it. But the rest of them never went anywhere. They say Nolan Bushnell has them. But
so let's piggyback off of the Ready Player One. His second book was also bought at the same time, Armada, and they were waiting to see how Ready Player One did in the theater before greenlighting Armada. Well, they greenlit Armada, and I would recommend that to you to read. I'm not going to spoil it, but it is heavily based off of. I'll say it's based on and given an homage to The Last Starfighter.
Oh,
so it is
like
another
one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, it is another excellent book. For the way the book is laid out, there should be no reason they can't do a faithful interpretation of the book.
I wonder who owns that Starfighter license.
I don't know, but Weta Workshop, the guy that did all the design work. Oh, I forget his name now. Totally brain fart. He showed some concept art a little while ago for a Last Starfighter reboot. And like everyone was going crazy over it, and
Are you kidding me? I love that, but I don't know how you could reboot that in the modern age.
Read Armada.
You can do a lot with
read Armada, and you'll understand how they can do that.
Yeah. Oh man, the Last Starfighter. That's one of those movies like I watch like twice a year.
And I'll tell you this: when you read Armada, I already have the Raid the Arcade mix, and you'll understand that when you read it. And I'll give you a copy of the Raid the Arcade mix.
Okay.
So.
All right. I'm looking up the who owns the rights. Oh, Universal owns the. Well, that was the distribution rights. But yeah, it's Laura Marr and Universal, so yeah, anybody can do what they want with that probably.
Richard Taylor was the guy from Weta.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Wow, there's a lot of losers in the Last Starfighter. I never kind of realized that until that girl grew up hot. Anyway.
No,
so,
seriously, your next book should be Armada. And you'll thank me.
Okay. I have to get through Metroid Samus Returns, then God of War, then book.
Okay, so you'll get to that by the end of the summer.
Yeah. You too.
Hey.
I'll get there.
You know how much time you get now to yourself versus what it's going to be like in the summertime when both girls are home.
I can play Metroid in the shitter. That's 20-25 minutes straight I can play.
You could also read for 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, or I could do an audiobook and play my game.
I am a huge fan of audiobooks. In fact, I just downloaded a new audiobook for Sunday. I'm going down our farm and cutting the fields, and I'll be down there for about 5-6 hours. So, got a new audiobook load up. Going to start that.
Well, what is it now that you've mentioned it?
It's Andy Weir's new book, Artemis.
Hmm.
So he's the guy that did The Martian.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's about a female. I don't know too much. I don't like to. If I'm interested in a book, I don't want to read anything about it. But it's about a female, I believe. A private eye on the moon. But it's read by Rosario Dawson.
What's it? Fucking Blade Runner?
No.
I watched Blade Runner 2049.
I have it. I have not watched it yet.
Oh,
It's like right up there with Revenant, The Revenant. That it's a movie I really want to see. Also with the last two Tarantino movies, Django Unchained and The Hateful Eight. I just
fucking
don't.
haven't seen Django Unchained or The Hateful Eight.
I don't have 3.5 hours for a movie. That's my problem.
Like every other parent does. You watch it 35 minutes at a time.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, The Hateful Eight. Ooh. Django Unchained's good though. That's a good movie.
I've got 2 episodes of Billions to watch after this podcast.
There you go. I still watch it House.
Well, I just finished Westworld the other day, season 1, and season 2 premieres this weekend, so I can't wait for that.
Oh, let's talk about shows. It was a really sad note I saw online today that Ash vs. the Evil Dead was canceled.
Yeah.
I'm super sad. Oh, in fact, it's coming up on something I'm watching right now. It's like an ad in the background. Stars canceled it after 3 seasons. That's really sad. The show was really funny, and it had a lot of like Army of Darkness humor to it. Also, but it had that real dark turn to it too, where it went from like him cutting up things with a chainsaw. Now it went bloody to not bloody to back to bloody. It's really funny, and Lucy Lawless is in it, and she was in it the whole show.
Wow.
Like I expected her to be like 3 episodes a season or 2. No, she's been in it like she's a major antagonist in it.
Well, she's still married to Rob Tapert?
I don't know. I have a hard time seeing her past the Xena outfit at this point in my days.
Nah, see, Xena she started off with, but now when I see her as the hot Cylon.
Nah, you'll see her as Ruby.
Let me see here. Let me go to Wikipedia. What do you mean you don't know Wikipedia?
Everybody knows Wikipedia.
Oh,
Fuck's sakes.
helpful if I put the P in there.
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, pretty much.
That sounds like something like, professional eaters go to.
Let's see here.
I
Spouses.
like they're off, apparently.
Yeah, she's still married to Rob Tapert because he was a producer with Sam Raimi. They did Xena,
And Hercules.
and what was that one that Bruce Campbell, the spin-off of that one?
Oh, well, no, I didn't think he had a spin-off of that.
I thought he had. Was it Jack of All Trades?
No. Was that Briscoe County Jr.?
No, Briscoe County was before
Look
Xena.
at that. Yeah. Whatever happened to the other girl from Xena?
Oh, Gabrielle.
Oh, God, yeah.
We always talked about that'd be a great 3-way.
Wait, you and the other 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely top 10 material.
So.
Well, this got off topic.
And see, the one bad thing for you is that it's canceling, but for me, I love to binge watch shows. That the fact that it's only going to be 3 seasons, it'll be a complete.
The first 2 seasons are on Netflix.
Yeah, but
You need to talk to it.
well, not only that, I like it when this is going to sound sick. I like it when a series is done because I can go from start to finish at my own leisure and then I'm done. I hate when I start a series like Westworld. I just finished Westworld. Season 2 premieres on Sunday. Well, now I got to wait each week to see each new episode, and I'm impatient.
Oh.
I hate that. I blew through the first 2. I blew through the first 2 seasons of Billions in like 2 weeks, and now I got to wait week after week for the season 3. And
First world.
I know.
First world problem.
Hey,
We live in the first world.
we do.
So.
You know what's a first world problem?
What?
When you're goddamn cheating to get a high video game score.
Well, you know what? Bill Mitchell.
Punk ass bitch.
Punk ass bitch. Bill Mitchell. Yeah, that works. I feel bad.
Arrogant son of a bitch finally got what was coming to him.
Yeah, you know what though? I don't know how true it is. I heard stories that they played it up in. You've seen The King of Kong.
I've actually only seen part of it. I never got a chance to watch the whole thing.
The King of Kong is really good. They make you really want to fight for Steve Wiebe.
Mm-hmm.
Like the film's set up that way. But they also want you to hate Bill Mitchell.
Oh, big time.
It's not hard. Bill Mitchell's an asshole. I mean, is he really? I don't know. I never met him. But he actually actually responded to the accusations, even though they've taken all the scores off the fucking Twin Galaxies already. But it's taken a considerable amount of time, witnesses, and documents. Everything will be made available to everybody when he gets to it, because he does have physical evidence that he really did this. Now, I remember that there's that guy Walter Day. He's the guy that ran Twin Galaxies. He's the one who created it, because he always felt that pinball and video games should have like their own Hall of Fame, so to speak. And he was a big, he's the guy, and he's the one that went to the places when like guys like Mitchell, before he was a low down scummy cheater, before all that, he would actually go and be the witness.
Mm-hmm.
He came in his referee shirt and had his whistle on. The guy was really cool. And he's in the King of Kong. You know what I mean? But yeah, Bill Mitchell claims that it's real, that he really did it, and he's gonna provide documentation or whatever. Now, tell me you've got a fucking file from 35 years ago. Some of them old.
See, the only thing I can see is,
at the best, these are on a VHS tape.
Yeah, and see, this is what I don't get, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't read too much into it. I skimmed the articles. He got caught using an emulator, and he spliced together the pieces of the emulator together to show a high-score game. Is that correct?
That's what I got out of it, too.
Okay, so you're talking 1980, whatever it was in. I didn't think emulators existed back then. There were home ports, but I didn't think arcade emulators came to fruition till the mid-90s, till computers got powerful enough.
Well, yeah, but when did he set the records?
I don't know.
Yeah, because he started, well,
we probably should have researched this before we're starting to
fuck
bullshit
it. Bill
about
Mitchell's a cheater. Fucking scummy, low down, scummy cheater. Actually, you know what though? Bill Mitchell made it exciting. You have to admit that the guy really did. Like, he made like competitive gaming. He brought it to the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the King of Kong is definitely a testament to that. Basically, and if you don't know what the King of Kong is, I'm sorry that you missed it, and I know you know what it is.
Yes.
But, it's this. Steve Wiebe was this guy who was out of work, bought a Donkey Kong machine, and his goal was to beat Bill Mitchell. And what I always found shady in the movie, and this isn't a spoiler alert, but it kind of is if you haven't seen the film, is that a couple of those guys from, which they're real cheesy, they're real seedy fuckers too, the guys that they sent to check his machine out. Because they have to verify the integrity of the machine too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the problems always was with that was Bill Mitchell was on like the I want to say the council. I don't know what else to use there, of people who rated the scores for Twin Galaxies. So I don't think that his own score should have been allowed on there on that pretense alone. But who am I? Are you researching Bill Mitchell?
No, I'm actually researching something else.
Is this for a later argument?
No, I was actually to piggyback off of this. But, no, I completely agree with you. Because I always thought back then in the day, because I did watch a special, something Snake. Chasing Snake? Damn. It was a guy basically the same thing. We are really misorganized.
Yeah, this is misorganized with Jerry and Trev.
Yes. Let's see here. What the hell? That's not it there. Man versus Snake. It's called.
So, can I guess what it is?
Yes.
Is it versus Metal Gear?
No. It's about a guy who back in the day set the world record for Nibbler. It's basically it's like the precursor to Snake.
Here it is. I'm getting the article now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is for sale. Oh, maybe we'll.
So I watched most of the documentary until it got really boring, but he was the first one to set the high score, and he decided to come back and he got his own machine and he wanted to try to beat his score. But the way he did it, and this is how I thought back then it was, that you had to be at the machine. You could not leave, and you had to have a witness the entire time. And that's how he beat his score. That's how he got his first high scores. He was there, I think they said it was something just ridiculous, like 5 hours, because he was the first one to score over 1 billion points in any video game in 1984 with Nibbler.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. And it's actually a pretty interesting documentary until about halfway through it gets really boring. And that's why I just went, okay.
Oh, look who's conveniently friends with, by the way.
So, who's that?
Bill
Bill
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Okay,
Yes,
yeah, it just showed up in that little trailer there, yeah.
Yeah, he's conveniently friends with
Yeah.
Bill Mitchell. Like I said, like Bill Mitchell got an award from Namco, the greatest classic gamer of all time. Are they going to take that off him? Because I really love to see it. I bet you they won't, but...
Yeah, probably not.
Low down, scummy cheater. Man vs. Snake is a lot like King of Kong. That's what the article says.
Yeah, it is.
The King of Kong, you could definitely tell was done on the lowest budget it physically could have been.
Yes.
You know, me and you doing this has a higher budget and quality than the King of Kong.
Well, I wouldn't go quality.
Yeah, all right. Definitely higher budget. So, yeah. So I don't know. I want to see Bill Mitchell's real response. I want to see if this shit turns out to be real.
If it turns out to be real, yes, he should be stripped of everything. If it doesn't turn out to be real,
Then reinstate him.
yeah, I have to.
All right. Honestly, let's. I said this to Kelly. We were going somewhere last Friday when I really read this article. We were in the car for like 20 minutes, and I said, you know what? Okay, if it's the Donkey Kong record, the Pac-Man record, whatever one is they're debating, which it doesn't even matter at this point. They could strip him of that one, whatever it is, or both. But he has other ones.
Yeah, don't strip him of all of his scores.
Don't rip them all on.
I would.
And also, he's been banned from.
I was gonna say I would definitely keep the ban for life. That you're not allowed to do any more once a cheater. But the scores that they can legitimately verify.
Yeah,
Let him keep those.
That's what I always thought about shady. Let me just finish it up. I always thought it was shady about the Twin Galaxies thing, because he was such good friends with Walter Day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how could you be friends with him and expect your name to be on these? It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you were the keeper, if you were the gatekeeper, and I was the keymaster, you know,
I'd be hot actually. So.
Nah, gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper, you're the keymaster.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. There's male-female reference there, and people didn't
Big
catch
time.
it. Nobody caught that shit.
Nope.
I had somebody ask me that. Well, why was she I said, think about it.
So what I was going to piggyback off of when you
Go ahead.
said about competitive gaming that he kind of brought to the forefront, this article came out 2 days ago. Up here in Northeast PA, Lackawanna College is starting an esports program. So,
I'm going to school.
Lackawanna College officials Tuesday announced the school will launch a scholarship-supported competitive video gaming team that will start competing against other schools during the fall semester. It is set to be the first such collegiate program in the area and one of only a few dozen such programs nationwide.
Well, okay. So, something we has it on. Oh, actually, they have their own website for it. We're totally going right through this. I just searched for that article, but coming soon, Lackawanna College. Oh yeah, here it is. Students are invited. Program highlights.
Telling you, it's
Competitive begins in fall 2018 semester in games including Overwatch, League of Legends, blah, 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 and Rocket League. Of only one game I've ever played there.
I think it's time to go back to school, buddy.
Yeah, I think it's time we go a couple hours a week. Well, imagine telling that to your job. I'm going to school. I'm going back to school. It's going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. What are you going to school for? Competitive gaming.
But you know what's funny? If you tell them sports, they'll be like slapping you on the back. Way to go! What sport?
Yeah, esports. Just like the EL.
Yeah.
The EL. I'm going to be. I don't know. I'm going to be shooting people. That's
Yeah.
Overwatch. You know, in Rocket League. Well, Rocket League's actually.
And around this area with the crime, they'd be like, okay.
Yeah. So you're going to be a criminal. Thanks. Yeah,
Just let me know if you'll be in on Wednesday. That's all.
Yeah. You be back tomorrow? Yeah. We have to replace you. Uh,
I just found it ironic that we live in a backwoods shithole, and one of the colleges is actually getting an esports team. It's like
well,
that's
you know what?
awesome.
Though? It's about time we came to
Yeah,
the modern times.
I'm sorry. Something's banging up against my mic cord. It's my iPod charger.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was your kid again.
No, every time I move, I hear this banging on the side of my desk.
So, the Man versus Snake thing. I think I'm gonna watch that. That looks very interesting.
I will say it's good up until about an hour. After about an hour, it just gets really repetitive.
Well, did you ever watch the Atari Game Over documentary?
Yes.
That's a good documentary.
Also, another good one is Indie Game.
You know what? That's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? That's in my queue.
Yes. Good.
Yeah, I got it right. Took me a long time to get that right. I was gonna say Quay. I know. So wrong, get so right. So, let's see. What else? What else happened this week? Look, Shenmue's getting a remastered edition of a game I've never fucking really played.
I played. I played
a couple hours of the original.
Yeah, I'm trying to even think. I think it was under 4 hours, and it is a huge, massive game. I mean, it is just crazy big. Back at that time, it was the game with the highest budget ever. I think they had over $100 million budget for that game. It was supposed to be Yu Suzuki's masterpiece, and it was okay received. It wasn't well received. Shenmue 2 came out, because Shenmue was originally launched on the Dreamcast. Shenmue 2 came out, not in the North America for the Dreamcast. It only came out in Europe. Then they ported it over to the Xbox, Shenmue 2, and then that was the only way to play it. And now we're getting both 1 and 2 for PS4, Xbox One, and Steam. So,
yeah, with the possibility of Shenmue 3 slipping out in 2018.
They actually had a Kickstarter for that. It was a year or two ago, and they couldn't get it funded. So
I don't know. Both games, episode 1 and 2, may be released together rather than separately. It's presumably geared up for the launch to precede Shenmue 3, which could possibly slip out in 2018. So,
I mean, that'd be cool. I found the second game at a used video game store. God, probably. I don't even think I was married, so we're talking over 11 years ago. And
before or after electricity.
Wow. But it was actually, the video game store doesn't even exist anymore. And I went in there and they had the European copy for, I think I paid like $10 for it. This was back before collecting retro games was the thing. So I got it kind of for a steal. And I just never sat down and played it. So my original Dreamcast is modded, so I can play any region games. So
yeah, I remember mine is too.
Okay, I take that back. It wasn't 100 million. It was anywhere between 47 to 70 million.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still
at the time it was the highest budgeted video game ever. So
yeah, well, I wish I could say a lot about it or one way or another, but I'll tell you, it exploded all over social media.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys I follow, like a couple of shows that I watch obviously on YouTube. I said a couple.
Few?
I said a couple, like that was a small amount. A couple of shows I follow on YouTube were like super excited. Plus, they announced the Sega Genesis Mini. I saw the announcement about that. Okay, that's a day late and $1 short.
A day late and about $7 short.
But you know what? Those Sega fanboys, and then we will leave them at that, need their thing too. So,
and I agree.
I would buy that if. And here's the thing: I would buy it if it's anything like those ones you see at like Family Dollar. If you've seen them over the last couple of years,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's going to be like that. We've been there, done that. You could have bought it for $20 last Christmas.
Yeah. Well, my thing about it is that I wanted one of these to have a cartridge slot. You know,
why?
Like, what? Well, don't you have some NES and Super Nintendo games lying around the house?
So you want a mini that has games built into it, and you could still put a game into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they.
I thought you meant you just wanted a cartridge slot, like you wanted a working card. I didn't know you actually wanted to put the actual card in. I thought.
Yeah, no, I got
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry if I didn't get that right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I made that pretty clear. Anyway.
Well, no, because a lot of people were pissed off that the NES Mini, the door didn't open. That's what I thought you were alluding to. That you just wanted to be able.
That's fucking aesthetic at best. Anyway, that's stupid. But I would want that, like the Genesis Minis that have been coming out every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think they're up to the 8th one or something. They even had a portable one, but they had cartridge slots because the Genesis cartridge slot is so generic.
Yeah.
So, or very easily to duplicate, I guess. So, I just wanted maybe like the Super Nintendo one would have been the prime one because, you know what I mean? You just because they screwed up with that whole trying to region lockout fucking bullshit that they tried. If you don't know what that is, do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those that don't, all they did was put tabs inside your system, and the back of your cartridge locked into the tabs. Where everything outside of North America didn't have that.
And all you gotta do is take a pair of needle and those pliers, about 3 seconds, pop them out, and you gotta reach it free. Well, it's the same thing with. Well, it's not as easy, but with the North American Nintendos, the chip that's in there, you actually just take a pair of wire cutters, you snip 2 leads off of the chip off the board, and it's region free.
Yeah. Or, you could get the top loader that doesn't even have that, but that's the same thing. But they also sold those, those fucking, you can play Famicom games on it. They have the converters. A lot of the early NES games had those converters in them because they just couldn't produce them quick enough.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something on for God of War here. I got to scroll down.
No spoilers.
No spoilers for me, please. I'd like to get into that as soon as possible. But, like, I think it was. Let me think about it. The one that came with Rob the Robot. What's that game called? I can see it. Gyromite.
Oh, okay.
Gyromite, and there was another one. They were because the back of the cartridges are 3-screw ones, but the ones with the converters were 5-screw ones. That's how people found them. And when you take all it is a like so many pin to so many pin adapter, and you just separate them, and you can put that adapter on any NES, any Famicom game. Put it in your NES, and you're ready to roll. That's how they did that. It was cheaper for them to produce the adapters than it was for them to produce more cartridges. More of the American version.
Yeah.
I don't know why Nintendo thought that was a great idea anyway. I'm sure they were trying to be like cheap. Maybe not. It was probably more expensive.
Well, actually, it's a valid point of why they did that. If you watched the Game Historian, Norm, he did a video on Rob the Robot. And they actually kind of explains it that they basically used Rob, this cool little robot, to sell the system to kids. Even though Rob is, like everyone agrees, it's pretty much useless.
Rob was useless 25 minutes after you bought it.
Yeah.
I never even owned him. Did you have him?
No, I never had him.
I never had him. You know what? I saw him at yard sales and flea markets over the last 30 years, and I still don't need it.
I can see me, when I get the new office built, eventually picking up one just to put on a shelf.
Yeah, I've thought about that.
Yeah.
So I thought about the same thing. I'm like, man, if I get him, he'd look pretty cool up there next to like Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
And, all those characters I have, and Kratos, and my Batleth. But I never thought I owned one. Now I remember a kid down the road from me who I still talk to. He had one, and I remember playing fucking Gyromite with Rob the Robot, and you had it like,
yeah.
So I'm like. I remember after about 5 minutes of it, I'm like, Jimmy, pick up that other fucking
Just push the controller button.
No, just sit next to me and push A and B when I fucking tell you. Okay? I was like 8, and I knew it was stupid. Or 10 probably. I was probably about 10 when that was out, but maybe 9. It don't matter. But, they used that to get kids to... Because they couldn't buy a video game system. That was the big thing.
It was hard for them to sell a brand new system after the video game crash, but they weren't... The way they marketed it is they weren't selling the video game system. They were selling Rob the Robot, a robot that you play video games with. Is how they got the kids hooked.
It was an entertainment system.
It was. They never used the word video game.
No. Even though we knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Us who were old enough knew what it was.
Yeah.
We had just gotten off buying Atari cartridges for a nickel at fucking Pomeroy's,
And Zares.
Zares, We knew what was good and bad, you know. But they sold it well because they sold it with Rob and the Zapper. And,
Yep.
you know, they made it work well, you know. And that Howard Scott Warshaw, he had it made. That cat had it made. Every time Nintendo wanted to try something, they sent it to him. And a box of fucking shit they would send him every week, every month. You know, Nintendo of Japan did that. Because the guy who ran Nintendo of America, whose name eludes me, I know who does it now.
Yeah.
Because he is the strangest name among fucking human beings.
Who you talking about, Reggie?
Reggie Fils-Aimé or whatever it is. You know,
everyone just calls him Reggie.
I'd call him Reg. I think I'd call him that, even if he didn't like it.
Hang on, I'll text him. I'll see if it's okay.
Yeah, you'll let me know how that works out.
He's a good guy.
Yeah,
we're tight, you know.
So, but whoever running Nintendo of America at the time, Howard Scott Warshaw was the guy that he was like a backroom guy who was helping him unpack Donkey Kong machines, and he would play it in his, you know.
Well, Howard Scott Warshaw was huge into Atari. He's the one that did E.T.
Oh, maybe that's not. Maybe I'm thinking of a different guy.
I think you're thinking of it because Howard Scott Warshaw, he programmed E.T.
Who was the guy that it wasn't Howard Scott Warshaw? Who was the guy that did Nintendo? Howard Phillips? Is that who that is? Hold on. That's why I think that's why I confused it because
I think so. It's actually Howard Scott Warshaw now. He doesn't do any video games. He's actually a therapist.
It's Howard Phillips.
Howard Phillips. Okay.
So I have my Howards wrong apparently. You know,
someone's gonna call him Howard the Duck.
Yeah. What a shitty movie. Remember when she was trying to make out with the duck? Anyway.
Yeah, that was just. No. He
thought that was a good idea. Somebody put that on paper.
And then on film. And then when he gets sucked out of his world, you see the naked female duck.
Play Duck magazine.
Yeah.
That was fucking really funny. So Howard Phillips, I should say again, he was a backroom guy at Nintendo, and he was playing Donkey Kong. And what was that? Radar Scope was the game that Donkey Kong machines became because they didn't sell, and they converted them into Donkey Kong. But I forget what color it is. You have to look on the side of the cabinet if you've ever seen a real Donkey Kong machine.
Yeah.
I think it's either blue or red. I can't remember which one it is, but they were old Radar Scope machines. Anyway, and that he's the one that he was so into the games, the guy noticed him. He was this young American guy who was playing games, and he got him this to play the games that came from Japan. He was the one that said that we shouldn't. He was one of the guys that were involved in that. We shouldn't give Super Mario Brothers 2, the Japanese one, to America.
Yeah, because it was too hard.
It's too fucking hard. Because they didn't want to burn the image of Mario, at that point. So, but they owe a lot to him because he was even going. He's the guy that went to these New York stores and set all this shit up, and Nintendo took all the risk.
Yeah,
took every dime of risk.
Well,
in the game.
That first season, they actually made an agreement with all the retailers. They sent them the stock for free. They paid Nintendo for what they sold, and if they wanted to, they could ship back any unsold units. Yeah. That it was they set up the displays, they set up all the marketing. That it was absolutely no risk to the retailers. They just wanted to get the systems in front of as many people as possible.
They just wanted to get a foot in the door.
Yep,
that's all they had to do, and it worked.
It did. It worked big time.
Yeah, Nintendo resurrected the video game industry. And now they're doing it with cardboard boxes.
Mm-hmm.
But
brilliant! It's a brilliant scheme now.
After I watched that video with Bill Nye playing with it, I can't deny it's lovable. This man,
it is.
He made it look fun, and who knows? Maybe I'll actually. No, I'm not buying it. I'm still not buying it.
Oh, you want to?
I don't know. Maybe if I got it cheap, I'll look for it by a dumpster.
Oh!
I want to know how much it'll cost to replace those.
I don't know. They said when they did the video, they said it's very robust, very sturdy. So
it's cardboard.
But give it to my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, and 5 minutes later it will just be shredded and painted purple, and
that's what they want you to paint it.
So she paints everything.
Yeah.
She paints her new thing is she paints laundry baskets into cars.
Maybe you should hide the paint.
Yeah, she finds the paint.
Maybe you should throw out the paint.
No, because you can't throw out the paint because she throws a shit fit. She threw a shit fit last time she ran out of paint, and we had to go buy her paint that day because she just wouldn't stop screaming. Yeah,
damn kids.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, so I mean, we touched on Bill Nye a little bit there too. Watching him play the Labo was really cool. You have to admit that Bill Nye is like, he's a modern symbol for science.
Mm-hmm.
The guy really is. And even though he definitely looks paid to make this video, come on, he really do. There's no way. Well, who's going to turn down Nintendo when they say, "Hey, would you like to promote our product?"
Depends.
Depends on what it is. Is it the fucking Virtual Boy?
Yeah, people are just running from that.
Yeah.
Wii U, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, if they give me one for free, I'd push it.
What's funny is Tested got theirs, I think 2 days ago. They got one early, and Norm from Tested, he opens it up. He was doing this on Instagram, and he's like, I just noticed something. He takes a black marker and he puts an R after Labo, which turns into Nintendo Labor. Which is true, because you got to put that shit together.
Yeah, it's true. The only thing though, that's true. It's like U-Haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most ingenious name for a product ever. You could pay us to borrow the truck, even though you move it.
Mm-hmm. And you got to bring it back gassed up, like we're your parents.
Yeah. Yeah. God, I never thought about that. That's so true. Man, that's wrong. Anyway. In the video with Bill Nye, who's a resurgence lately, he's come back. He goes over the the number one, which has the fishing rod and the little remote control cars, and the programmable part, which I was find very interesting. We can make the things do what you want.
Yeah.
So I find that it's really cool. It's a really good use of simple technology, which Nintendo's very good at.
And it's teaching kids a lot, because it's not just something you're getting. It comes flat packed. You got to put it together. And the instructions they have, which are all 3D rendered on the Switch, are fantastic to follow. They're absolutely brilliant. I wish IKEA would take a page from that.
Yeah.
and do simple instructions.
Fucking right.
But it's a great activity for you and the kids, or you and the wife, or you and whoever, to actually sit down, put this together, because once you put something together, you understand how it works.
Yes.
And that's the great part, that even though, you're putting tab A into slot B, you're understanding how this thing is built.
It's another oddly perfect sexual reference.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice indeed.
But I'm a big believer, I hate to bring it up again, but building my office, my son is helping me with it. He helped me build the floor. We boxed in the sewer pipe. He helped me with the first wall that we put up, but because of that, he's just starting geometry. He's in second grade, and it just so happened he started that right around the time we did it. And when we were boxing in the sewer pipe, I said, "Buddy, how many sides does a cube have?" He's like, 6. I said, "Okay, so we got to make a cube to go over this." And I did all the measurements for him, but he cut a lot of the wood with me. He did all the screwing down of the wood and the frame, and then the plywood on top. I mean, he literally built the box to go on top of the sewer pipe. And at the end, he's like, "Wow, that's really cool." It's like, see, now you understand kind of how structure works, how wood works, and he just loved it. He absolutely loved it. It was great that he's learning by doing, and that's where I think the Labo comes into play. That, okay, you're building the racing cars, but now you're understanding what's making the racing car work. It's actually the vibration control of the Joy-Con that's moving it, and by you using the screen, you can actually kind of turn it in whatever direction you want by using the motors of the vibration, to the left one more, right one less. Now you're understanding how that moves, and I mean, I think it's just a great learning experience.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack, of anybody, after I kind of admitted to myself that this isn't as stupid as it looks, is the first kid I thought of. I said, well, you know what? The kid I know who'll get a lot out of it is Jack. He'll get a ton out of this.
Yeah. Although he might find it boring, because his big thing now is he's making Doom levels, which he's trying to make one that's really hard that he can beat, and he wants to send it to you to play, to see your opinion.
Oh boy, can't wait to play something I'm fucking boss. No, of course he gets that. I would love it. I love that kind of shit. Yeah, you know what though? I hope this works out for them.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo's like, it's not that the Switch is doing bad, because I have to honestly admit,
No, the Switch is doing
damn good.
I believe it's actually on pace or beating the Wii sales, the original Wii.
I mean, fucking difficult to do, but okay.
Well, it took almost a year to find them in the stores.
Oh, I agree. Now you can get them anywhere.
Yeah.
They've probably got enough out there, If I picked one up.
But I didn't get mine till the fall, because that's when I was still working at Best Buy. And I think between launch, we got them on launch day. I think we probably got about 40 of them between launch day and November.
How about...
And that's it.
Yeah, I want to tell you, and there weren't many anywhere.
No.
Plenty of accessories, though.
Yeah.
A lot of them. One of the responses on this article about Bill Nye, it says, Bill Nye for Smash 5 confirmed.
That'd be awesome.
Hilarious.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I fucking destroy you with science. Oh, that's a good one. All right, so we did Shenmue, we did that.
We got to talk about something that I forgot to put in the notes that we have to discuss.
Oh, God, what now?
You and I definitely have to discuss this. Sony has announced they're killing the Vita.
I saw that article. You mean the game I basically played PS1, the system I played PS1 games on?
Pretty much, yeah.
The only Vita game I actually owned was Uncharted.
Really?
It's the only Vita game I ever bought. There was never one I thought I would say the cartridges, which were fucking micro SD cards. They were about as big as your dick.
Ow!
Ooh!
That was nice. I like how you just slipped that right in there.
Yeah, it's fucking
just slipped that right in.
It was in and out. That's the only game I ever bought for it. And I was like, but I bought stuff on the store, like, of course, your PlayStation Plus, you got free stuff every month, and I bought that. But I think I bought Unit 13, which was a third-person shooter. But that was more of like a puzzle game shooter, which we had to just solve or kill certain guys or whatever. It wasn't. But all I played was PS1 or PSP games on it. That's all I ever did with it. It's sad to see it go. Me and John are the only two owners on the planet. Yeah. So,
and this is, really, this is Sony saying we give up. Nintendo, you won the handheld.
Yeah.
The Wonder Swan never came over here.
The console's a handheld.
What's that?
You know what I mean? They took the Switch and said, "You want to see how bad we can beat you in the handheld?
Yeah.
Watch this. We'll make it for both, assholes."
That's absolutely true.
Anything portable without Nintendo's name on it, you might as well just fucking throw in the garbage. It's no good.
Because
like this box I'm in.
Yeah.
Box I'm in right now.
Because they
two
tried
of the greatest handhelds of all time, by the way.
They tried with the Wonder Swan in Japan. That really failed.
Who did that? You talking Sony?
Sony, yeah. They did the Wonder Swan. And then their first attempt in North America, let's see how many people remember this, is when they reissued the original PlayStation as the PS1, they had a portable LCD screen that went on top of it. So you could
PSONE.
Yeah, PSONE. Yes. So that you could take it. The marketing material for that was showing you people playing it in the car and stuff like that, where you didn't need a TV. There was your TV. Then came the PSP, which had potential had they not decided to create a brand new media type of their own with the UMD.
They should have just took a page from Nintendo on that and just used
cartridges. That's
or whatever. What was that? What was that fucking memory stick fucking technology that they were using at the time? It was Sony's own.
Oh yeah, the memory stick. Yeah.
Yeah, that was their own. Like I that's what I had for my PSP. It's still in there probably.
But the PSP did give us a cross media bar.
It did.
Yeah.
Even though they don't use it anymore.
So. And then you have the Vita, and now nothing. That's it.
It is a good piece of hardware. So. It's just another case of, it never had that killer app.
Yeah.
It never had that it works really good when you sync it with your PlayStation 4, and you can play. It's a second screen.
Mm-hmm.
Works perfect for the most, as long as you're at the home network. I always wanted to try it like fucking 30 miles away. I want to see if it worked. But
But they never went all in like Nintendo did. Nintendo always went all in on the portables where we're going to release
all their money.
all the games that we want. We're going to release all the Mario games, all the Yoshi games, all the Kirby games, the Metroid games. You're going to get a full library of unique games on this portable, where Sony never really committed to that.
No, Sony hoped their third parties would. That's my feeling, I should say, because I don't fucking work at Sony, but I always thought that Sony always hopes their third parties, like Sony will put out some good first party stuff, and like all those companies will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have Microsoft has their Halo games, and Sony, I don't know what the fuck really first party Sony really runs anymore besides God of War, because that's part of their Santa Monica deal. But they have probably other ones that I just don't realize are theirs.
Yeah.
And then, but Nintendo is all fucking first party.
Yeah.
Then you got fucking Mario and Zelda and Metroid, which they ignore a lot, and the Mario Kart series and everything Mario related. They got all that out there.
And Nintendo is one of the few companies that still does that, because, like you said, like Sony, they don't do a lot of first party anymore. They do a lot of exclusives. Like,
oh yeah,
you can only play Uncharted on the PlayStation.
It may not be Street Fighter 5 on the PlayStation.
Yeah, it may not be first party, but it's exclusive enough where you need to own their platform to play it.
Well, yeah, but that what I mean. That's a lot of that's third party to a first party deals. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. That Sony doesn't have to make their own first party games when they can pay a boatload of money to a developer and say you're only making that for us.
Yeah,
kind of like how Square was back in the day, that they only made it for Nintendo.
Yeah,
and then they went to the PlayStation, and now they'll make it for anybody.
Yeah, they'll whore that out to anybody. It don't matter,
Squeenix.
Squenix. And Enix, the company that saved them, that saved Square from financial ruin, because they thought The Spirits Within was a good idea.
Graphics still hold up, though.
It still holds up. It does. I was waiting for you to say it when I brought it up. But Enix has a great library of their own, but they never do anything with it.
Yeah.
They have the Soul Blazer series, which is I think they call it the Blazer series in Japan, which is 3 great games, and they have a bunch of them. Like, the fuck's that game? Oh, The Illusion of Gaia. That's another one of that. I can't remember. ActRaiser. It's another great game from Enix's library that they could have made 50 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or how about let's get an HD upgrade? Everybody will do that.
I'm sick of HD upgrades.
Why don't we put Dante in it? Because they'll whore him out for anything.
That is true.
It is. What game you got? We can put Dante in it. That's like 2 weeks in a row we made that joke. But how about an HD upgrade? Or any of these companies, how about a fucking HD upgrade of Symphony of the Night?
Nah, don't go there.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
No.
You'd stop seeing me. We wouldn't be doing this show. I'm surprised that we haven't seen like Lords of Shadow have an upgrade for the PS4, even though they make a killer amount of money on that. Well, they're doing that cartoon. How can I fucking forget that? Did you watch that?
The first season, yeah. The very short season. I'm waiting for
4 episodes.
Yeah.
So fucking hard to watch, actually. I mean, not hard to watch. It was just hard to know that 4 episodes in, it was already over. I
was really happy that they went adult with it. That it wasn't like Captain N, the Game Master type of, Simon Belmont that way. That they went hardcore. This is going to be violent with language, and I like that.
Well, Castlevania is getting its own, like, I was just pulling up this article, actually. I'm sorry. It's getting its own spiritual successor, like. It's getting that Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which was the guy who created Castlevania. He left and is creating like a he did the Kickstarter thing. This thing's almost ready for release, but pushed back to 2018. All right, well maybe not.
But we're in 2018, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but it was supposed to be out last year.
Oh, okay.
Like I haven't kept up with this article. Look, there's a mobile Castlevania game coming out, announced 4 days ago. What's this called? How did I miss this for the show?
Oh, it's Portrait of Ruin.
Oh, yeah. How did I miss that? Man, how did I miss that joke?
Damn.
How don't you fucking put that thing in the bathroom and play it?
I play with something else in the bathroom.
Oh. Man, your wife must spend a lot of time in the bathroom. Let's see. Oh, Grimoire of Shadow Where do they come up with these names?
I don't know.
The game was revealed as official website. Let's see, what is this? It's a 4-player co-op, including a preventative and a brand new story for the series. Okay, so it looks like that game. What was that one that was on the PS3 that we wanted to buy, but neither one of us would fucking do it?
Oh, you're talking the side scroller one.
Yeah, the one that was a multiplayer, like it was online multiplayer though. You could have like 5 or 6 people.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Really wanted to play that game actually, but I just couldn't see fucking ponying up $20 for it. It didn't look like a $20 worth it. But this Grimoire of Shadow, I cannot believe that's the name of it, is a real-time 4-player co-op game, but also features 4 versus 4 competitive mode and a 4-player boss rush mode, which, okay, whatever.
Okay, I'm going to say something. I know we don't have to segue into the next story because this is going to bookend it, but I am so sick of games being centered around multiplayer, especially online multiplayer or co-op, and negating a good single-player storyline.
Yes. You know what? Single player is why people buy games.
Yes.
It's why I shouldn't say everybody, because I'm not everybody as much as
that's why I buy it. I buy single-player games.
That's why I buy games. You know what? I always saw multiplayer as the last thing I should play in a game.
Yes.
Like, except for maybe GoldenEye. I mean, at the time it was. Nah, never mind.
But that was that's what they call now couch co-op.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't want to play with people. We had this discussion earlier that I think it was the first episode, that we don't like playing with people we don't know online.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That's like, what? I bought Mario Kart 8. I remember telling you that like last week or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it has the 4-player split screen. Yeah. And it's great. And I didn't realize how good my older daughter was at it either.
She's grounded now, isn't she?
No. That's why she's been playing fucking Splatoon so much. It's so annoying. Anyway, but and that makes me sick. It's like, I mean, I'd love to play with the 4 of us were here playing.
Mm-hmm.
With like, I mean, I had the PS4 controller hooked up and all this shit. We were like Jimmy Riggin shit to get 4 of us to play. But it was really fun. It reminded me of the GameCube.
Yeah.
It immediately harkened back to Double Dash.
Mm-hmm.
I was, holy shit, this is like playing Double Dash. This is great, But that's when multiplayer was fun. When you could sit next to a person and fucking yell at them.
Yeah.
Or,
knock the controller out of their hand,
Or whatever, and do the old good game. That was, that was a really fun time. You know what I mean? We did that for years, man. But, and now we got games like fucking Call of Duty saying they're not going to have a fucking solo campaign? What?
It reminds me of when Titanfall came out.
Online version of any Call of Duty game ever. I mean, I've gone into it just to see what it's about and get out of it, but I never play it. It's worthless.
It reminds me when the first Titanfall came out. My nephew was playing it at their house, and I'm like, holy shit, this looks amazing. And I actually thought about getting an Xbox just to play it. And then when he told me, I said, well, what's the single player like? He's like, oh, there is no single player. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not putting out that kind of. I'm not putting out $60 to play with strangers. That's not what I want.
They rectified that though, because the sequel had
a single player, but
the single player the sequel was fantastic. It really was.
But here's a game that's been since day one, single player first, multiplayer second. But now they feel it's outgrown the single player experience, and I'm sorry. In my opinion, again, we're old school. You'll never outgrow the single player experience.
No. Never.
Especially for a game like that. I could see, League of Legends, Rocket League, Fortnite. Yes, they're based on, from the get-go, big multiplayer battle royale.
Well, fucking, Rocket League, though, isn't. Rocket League has split screen.
Does it?
Yeah.
But you're taking a franchise who was built from day one with a single player story driven campaign, and now you're taking that core element of it and just throwing that son of a bitch out of the door and going, now you're just going to, play with a bunch of 8-year-olds calling you a pussy fucker and, saying that your mom is a whore.
Some 9-year-old telling me how many times he fucked my mom.
Exactly.
God, that's wrong. You know, and that's why I never really played any on. You know what I mean? Like some games are really like I like to try the online co-op or the online deathmatch or whatever it is. You know, like Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to just try it. You know, just to see what it was like.
My son plays it all the time, but he's a new generation. We're
You're
old
right.
school.
We're old school. And as more and more I played it, like me and John played it right after we got the game. And, well, after we beat the campaign, I should say, after we got through that. And then we were playing on it. But first off, we never got fucking on a team together. We very rarely got on a team together. You know what I mean? If it was like blue versus red or whatever, you know. But, so then we just decided to say fuck it, and we went into the map editor and made our own maps and played by ourselves. You know, one-on-ones. Because there was a lot of 1v1 maps already, you know, out there on Snap Map, which is their, you know, their fucking map maker thing. But we just took somebody else's map and fucking edited the shit out of it.
Hey, why not?
It was like, all we did was take the overpowered weapons out, which makes that game a lot more fun. You know what? You can't play Doom and and constantly have the rocket launcher available. Or the BFG, have it constantly out there. So we took all those heavy weapons out and just left the bullet weapons, shotguns.
Plasma rifle should be about as high as you could go in a multiplayer.
I think we had that in there, but there's no ammo pickups and no health pickups on the entire map.
Damn, that's hardcore.
It is hardcore. That's why the only health and ammo pickups you get is when you kill somebody. They drop their armor, which is like usually like 20 points. That's all you get. So you don't have unending streaks.
Yeah.
You know, one person hit me, like when we tried to play John in Doom 2.
Fuck that.
Fuck, I will never play that again.
That was Doom 3.
No, that was Doom 2. Remember the 2? It was 2-on-1, me and you versus him, and he fucking totally destroyed us.
No, that was Doom 3 BFG edition we were playing him at. We never played him at Doom 2. I never did. We always played Doom 3.
You know, it was Blair.
Yeah.
My nephew.
We played Duke Nukem together, and we played Doom 3 together. That's the only games I ever played with you and John.
Duke Nukem Forever was fun.
It was. It really was.
That might be the best part of that game.
No, that is the best part of that game.
Yeah, you're right. I wonder if that's even still works. We should try that out one night. Record that. Anyway. Yeah, so Call of Duty not including it? What are they doing?
Yeah, I could see their logic behind it, and I agree 100% with Angry Joe on this. If you're taking single player out, you should not charge over $40 for that game.
Exactly.
If you charge $60 for an online-only version of your brand new game, you're fucking stupid if you pay for that. And people will. That's the thing that pisses me off. People will pay for that.
See, I won't pay for... If I know straight out of the box that I will not be getting my single-player campaign, then I will not want this game.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Black Ops is the most fun out of all of them. I think. Now, this Future Ops and his fucking jumping off walls and flying shit that they did, you know, with Kevin Spacey, which that was a really good one. It had a lot of the ideas. But if it doesn't have... I mean, I guess they want it to be like Overwatch. I guess that's what they're going for.
I guess. I don't know.
Or zombies all the fucking time. I mean, zombies is fun for about 10 minutes.
Zombies was fun 10 years ago when they started this shit.
Yeah.
Now it's just, it's worn out.
No, Call of Duty Black Ops for the PS3, the one I let you that you played for about 8 minutes before you realized they cursed.
Oh, no. I played that for about 30 seconds because my son wanted to see it. And the first words were like, what the fuck? And I'm like, okay, we're turning that off right now.
Yeah. You know, and the zombie mode in that one was set in the White House in, like, you know, I think it was Kennedy's time. And, you know, you're trying to hold back a zombie invasion inside the White House, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. That's where it stops. After about 5 minutes of the zombies and rebuilding walls, I was like, this is fucking boring. Turn it off.
They should do what Red Dead Redemption did. Build a solid game, then if you want a zombie, they made an expansion pack that turned everybody into zombies. There, you got your zombies.
Or like, you know, like Call of Duty Black Ops 3 came out right when the PS3, PS4 era was switching over. Mm-hmm. And the PS3 version of Black Ops was multiplayer only. Because that's what they figured out anybody really wanted. Mm-hmm. If you look that up, it didn't have a single-player campaign. So they've kind of done this before. Yeah, they've kind of done this before. But just not... I don't know if the other half of it came as a download later, like the campaign. I don't know, because I didn't have it. So, I moved on from crummy PS3, as my brother would say.
Now that would be a kick in the balls if they sell you the game, say for $40 to $60, and then 6 months from now they come out with a single player campaign that's fucking DLC.
Yeah, I would be surprised. Would you?
And then they come out a year later with the Game of the Year edition or the Complete edition that has both on there.
Yeah, you like Injustice 2?
Yeah.
Hold on. That's what it was. Who's doing this time? Is it Treyarch that's doing it this time? I don't really care, right? And they'd be like, all right, so how can we screw the masses? Let me get Capcom's book out here.
Yeah.
DLC. On the disc. DLC.
We will start you off with a flak jacket and a 6-shooter pistol.
Yeah.
You want a shotgun? That's $2.99. You want a rocket launcher? That's $4.99.
You want ammo?
Yeah.
That's pop.
No. Ammo is $10. That's your best value pack.
Get ammo for it's like the backpack from fucking Doom 2.
Yeah.
Get all kind of ammo in there, but it's $10. Oh fuck. That's just terrible.
You want ammo? Buy an ammo loot crate. Could get shotgun shells. Could get ammo for a weapon you haven't bought yet. You don't know.
Could get a fucking water pistol. Oh man. I hope that's not really true. I really do, because I like Black Ops. I really do. I think they're fun. I think the stories are real gritty, and I can't play them in front of the kids. I should have played World War II in front of the kids either, but I did. There's a lot of down and dirty shit in that, but it was war, and that was real. That was like fucking realistic war. In the terms of video game-ness, anyway. I mean, it's probably not how it really was. You know what? It's really great, though. Video games are hitting a milestone when articles about Black Ops 4 are on Forbes' website.
Yeah.
Either they don't got a lot to talk about, or this is a moneymaker. There's a lot of money wrapped up in that company. You know what I mean? There's so much money wrapped up. I want to see who's got Black Ops 4. I got to see what happens.
Yeah, you just hit upon something.
I think Sledgehammer did the last one. So, it's Treyarch starting. Okay. You gotta fucking Activision's consistent. There's one every year.
When you said about making a lot of money, this article came out a week and a half ago.
Finding out that there are a million kids
I
a year that
fucking
drop
hate
out of school,
autoplay.
I was blown away. If every single one of those kids...
Sorry. It was autoplaying an ad. Grand Theft Auto 5 has been more profitable than any film or book ever. The revenue from this single game title is now estimated to be $6 billion.
So that made more money than any fucking movie ever.
Yes, or any book ever. $6 billion on a single game.
How much money do you think the Bible made? I don't know.
God doesn't need money.
Yeah. Except they have no problem. Never mind.
Never. That's I was being facetious.
Tricky as a priest.
Here, let's see if you take the bait. Come on, fishy. Come on.
Here it goes. Let me get my cardboard fishing reel. Hold on.
But if you think about that, that's game's 5 years old, $6 billion. That's $1 billion a year. Marvel would cream their pants for $1 billion a year.
I'm surprised that Disney isn't buying them already.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just I'm imagining like Kingdom Hearts 4 and it's got the guys from Grand Theft Auto in there. The hookers are the new Disney princess.
Yeah. Well, you have to say all right, so here's the top 11 gross games of all time. And I'm really going to say that I hate these lists, but because we did one last week or whatever.
Yeah.
But
this is a little less subjective than the best games of all time. This you at least have some concrete.
Also,
numbers.
this is fucking article's 3 years old. Hold on, I want to find it. Okay. There's franchises. I don't know what has to trust Wikipedia. People tell me not to trust that.
I trust Wikipedia. I don't know.
I said people a guy I work with who went to college, I guess in the recently department, said that you weren't allowed to get any information from Wikipedia for your papers or anything like that. So I don't know.
But then again,
this always comes up every time. One of the most profitable games of all time is Tetris. I don't believe that.
No.
But here it is, Grand Theft Auto 5.
I guess you could say profitable versus revenue versus development cost. But I mean, we're talking. If you're just talking revenue-wise, you're talking money put out. Not say Tetris cost $10,000 to make, and it's made $1 billion. Yes, that is hugely profitable, but that's not based off of revenue. Revenue and profit are two different things. So Tetris could be the most profitable game, but it doesn't have the highest revenue.
No.
What?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh,
no,
okay.
It doesn't have the highest revenue. No. Well, I'm surprised that fucking Minecraft's not on that list. It's not up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, $6 billion. Here it is, $6 billion in worldwide revenue. Wow, that's fucking impressive. And that's been re-released because that went from the PS3.
Twice
Xbox
it's been re-released.
Yeah, because now it's in the premium edition.
Yeah.
Like fucking, I'll tell you, Rockstar, they don't need to do anything else anymore.
No.
They can just keep upgrading this bitch till the end of time. Good for them. Even though they're already a big video game house and they're consistently in trouble. Yeah.
Well, they got Red Dead Redemption at the end of the year now. It's supposed to be out in the spring, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is, I think, November now.
Well, I never played it.
I never played it. I got it on PS Plus, and I don't even think I ever loaded it up.
No, I never played it. I'm not an open world sandbox guy, even though I brought Breath of the Wild. That's a life draining fucking game. Like 4 hours, and I feel like I get nowhere. But
like, I like the Grand Theft Autos. I have Grand Theft Auto 3 for the Grand Theft Auto Vice City for the PS2. I have Grand Theft Auto 4 for the PS3. And I'll be honest, I never completed either storyline. I just love going around creating havoc,
killing people.
I love you download the weapon codes, and you get out of the hospital, and automatically you're running around with a rocket launcher, and you get 4 stars, and you start picking off police helicopters with the rocket launcher.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that kind of stuff. But you know what? Not to get political, but we never wanted to go outside of our house and do that.
No, never.
See? That's what's wrong with the world.
Well, my son's 8, and
he beat the Doom fucking campaign. That says it all.
But before he ever got a chance to play those games, when he started seeing me play Doom, I let him play a little bit, and then we'd have a talk afterwards. You understand this is make-believe? And he'd be like, yeah, I understand. But then I wouldn't let him go any further till I could see it in his behavior. He's not getting violent, is he? He's understanding that this
He's not taking his fucking toys and going.
Exactly. In fact, it was only about 2 weeks ago when he started doing the Doom 2 maps, I actually let him play Brutal Doom. Because I thought Brutal Doom was just a little too violent. But after playing through the Doom campaign on the Switch, I'm like, okay, it's probably not all that violent considering he's playing this going, where are the glory kills? I'm like, oh, sure. I guess it's time to let you play
Did he really ask that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Fucking wow.
Well, which one is it? It's not Brutal Doom. It's Project Brutality. That there actually is not quite a glory kill, but they'll sit there on the ground and they'll just hover, kind of like the guys in the original Rise of the Triad, and you go over and you can kick them and kick their heads off.
Yeah. They're like, you weaken them.
Yeah.
Essentially, and then you do the finishing kill. See, they should never put Wii Sports on any list, considering they gave that away.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking
Same thing with Tetris. They gave Tetris away with every single original Game Boy.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm the original Game Boy.
Yeah. That was a good reference. That was nice.
Thank you.
That was nice. I'm a Game Boy Color. I'm racist. But anyway. Game Boy Color was it just wasn't as tough as the original Game Boy.
I never owned one. Back then I had the gaming company that we ran on the side. We sold a shit ton of them, but I never kept one for myself.
You know what? I had them all through the Game Boy Advance SP.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just went right to... No, that was it. And then I went to the I didn't have the DS original. I went right to the DS Lite.
Yeah, I went right to
the
the
one
DS
you
Lite.
didn't see Portrait of Ruin on? And then I got the, well, yeah. And then I have the DSi. Yeah. Fuck you too.
You're going the wrong way, bitch.
Oh, okay, I'm going this way. All right.
Yeah. That's it.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Anyway, we should have took advantage of this idea a long time ago. Then I had the DSi, and and I never owned a 3DS, but I bought the 3DS for the kids, and that's what I'm playing. I'm using to play that.
You mean you didn't buy the 2DS?
No. No, I did not.
Let's take a step backwards and put two screens that don't fold together, and just a big hunk of fucking plastic with some buttons.
It looks like. Let me think.
Looks like a double Game & Watch is what it looks like a two-player Game & Watch.
Game & Watch, yeah. One of those fucking. It's a Tiger handheld fucking thing. Piece of shit.
Oh.
Game Watch. Anyway, gotta watch the ads for those. They're hilarious. Japanese Nintendo ads from the '80s are fucking priceless.
They are.
I've never seen them. So,
Do you remember the original Wii commercials?
Oh yeah.
With the two Japanese.
The guy's
like
knocking
to play.
up.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, you weirdo! Oh God, yeah. There's Nintendo's, but yeah, and I never would think that those ads would make it to America.
Mm-hmm.
But Nintendo don't care anymore about that.
Well,
remember they have separate shit for, us in the Japanese market.
Well, they kind of always did until the internet came around and. We got to see all the Japanese shit, and we get to see Arnold Schwarzenegger doing bourbon commercials in Japan, and
oh, yeah, like Bill Murray in that movie.
Yeah,
that's a really odd movie. Anyway, what's another? We want to see a really screwed up ad. Is watch the original Mother 2. Earthbound.
Yeah.
Watch that ad. Watch the Japanese version of that ad. It's so strange. It actually is like they have actual kids dressed up like the characters, and they're doing like the magic attacks. They're fucking doing this shit in the middle of the street and shit. It's really odd. I'll send. You know what? If I get time, let me go on my 9,000 YouTube subscriptions, and I'll send that to you.
Okay, good segue there. Something we could bring up because it's off topic with Trevor and Jerry. Mother 2, the new Angry Video Game episode dropped this week, but only on Amazon right now. James Rolfe switched over, and I know why. It's because YouTube isn't as profitable, nearly as profitable as it used to be. So he's partnered up with Amazon. All the old episodes are on Amazon. He actually said they're remastering some of them for Amazon. So I went on there. All 12 seasons are on there, including the movie. Yep. If you have Amazon Prime, you get to watch the episodes ad-free. If you don't, you could still watch it, but you get ads on it. And I think he said a week after it's released on Amazon, then it'll go to YouTube.
Good for him.
And it just shows someone he's not abandoning YouTube, but he's looking out for his business model. That, he's going to Amazon now. And the fact that, okay, if you have Prime, you don't have to watch ads. You have to pay per month on YouTube for YouTube Red not to watch ads. But I think this is great in a sense because, and this is going to sound like I'm being a dick, but because I have Amazon Prime, I don't have to watch commercials and I don't have to wait a week to get it on YouTube. That I kind of like getting it earlier than the normal way to do it.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually right after I saw that pop up in my feed, because, me and YouTube are good friends. I immediately went on. I was actually watching Amazon Prime at the time.
There you go.
Because House was on. House is on there, and I've been watching that throughout, when I can. And so I'm like, oh, it's really? So I searched for it, and I'm like, well, only the movie came up. So, but then I see what are these next to it? You know what I mean? Like, there's like AVG and the movie, and then season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the way down to 12. And then all AVG ads always been good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's been consistently good for all these years. Some stink. I can't even think of one that's like really shitty.
Well, I'll admit I'm not a big RPG guy. That I found this one. I mean, it was 39 minutes long. It was something incredibly long.
Oh, the Earthbound one.
Yeah, the Earthbound one. It did get a little long-winded toward the end. It was
No, I agree with that.
That's like for him, like 20 minutes is like the butter zone. That's where you get the good episodes.
I like the 10 to 12-minute ones.
Yeah.
Ones I can watch like in the shitter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when I'm sitting down to have something to eat. They're perfect. Like I always watch the Atari 5200 one. I don't know. I think that's funny.
Bugs Bunny and the Crazy Castle.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, him getting his. I like the one after that though. The sequel to that one.
Yeah.
There's the Crazy Castle, and then there's another one. That's the Earthbound.
Oh, the Earthbound, yeah.
Just saying. Yeah, so watch that when you get a chance if you want to start something.
The other great one is the one where Pat the NES Punk was on there, and he accidentally buys the Nintendo World Championship card on eBay, and then he smashes it.
Yeah. I like where he put the fucking drill through it, and he's fucking smashed it with a hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And then the crossovers he did with the Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, he's coming under fire, though, online.
Well, he's not. He retired the character. His website's coming under fire.
Well, yeah, he retired the character and came back a couple years ago. But his website and all its content providers are coming under deep fire.
Yeah, and
and they evacuated that site.
Oh yeah, big time.
There's I don't think there's only Angry Joe, who I'm surprised was still.
I was surprised he was still on there too. I thought he left there a while ago for as big as he's gotten.
But he was still cross promoting both sites. You know what I mean? Or cross posting, I should say. I'm sorry, but he was cross posting on both sites, and he said he will no longer have anything to do with them. And all those people came up, and there was that big document, which I read part of. I read chunks of it. There's one more with more highlights that's easier to read, I think. But it's really sad to see because I'm telling you, back when I first started really watching YouTube and everything like that, it was him and the Nerd.
Which, if people don't know what we're talking about Channel Awesome.
Yeah.
We never mentioned the name.
Not so awesome.
No, not so awesome.
That's what they called that Google Doc, the not so awesome thing or whatever. And a lot of those people are the people who really brewed it up the way I read into it were former contributors who, I don't know, for one reason or another, finally decided to just go on the full-fledged fucking attack. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure bad things happen, but why wait so long to say something?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of probably reasons you'll never find out, but...
Oh, I'm sure there isn't. Like the guy who does Top the Fourth Wall, Luke Carr, who's... it's another good show I like, but... I subscribe to him on YouTube. Shock. But, it was he was one of their biggest, partners for a long time. And then when this came out, he was like, yeah, I'm fucking out of here, And I think I would too, considering the allegations. And then, of course, Channel Awesome came up and they gave their angle on everything and stuff like that. But, you just hope those people find somewhere else to kind of go, like YouTube or, this Amazon Prime deal or whatever. Because you know who else went Amazon Prime? Not to spin off the other subject quick, but Classic Game Room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he spun into Amazon because his clips kept getting stolen, or chunks of his clips kept getting stolen and used in other people's videos, and YouTube refused to do anything about it, which I find very strange. Also, I'm not surprised. So he said he goes, I'm done. He goes, I'm leaving. He goes, and now he's on. Now it's like Classic Game Room 2085 or something. He's so fucking strange, that Mark Bussler. But his show is good. He wants to do longer form content.
Yeah.
I don't know how can you make a 15-minute review out of fucking Pac-Man? I guess apparently we're going to find out.
And that's another thing. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, that was the other thing James Rolfe said is with his partnership with Amazon, he's going to be able to do some other film projects that he's been wanting to do and put it right on Amazon. Yeah. Which is awesome. I mean, YouTube Red was supposed to be the savior for long-form content on YouTube. And while it's probably worked for a few people, I think Amazon is going to be the next way to go for more long-form content because it sounds like they're a lot less restrictive than YouTube is on their earnings.
Yeah. Fucking YouTube Red's pretty good if you were one of the original 12 or 14 people that fucking hooked up into it. The Game Grumps, those two fucking Nimrods. Well, I like, but their show has got old now.
You got PewDiePie on there.
Who's that other fuck? Is PewDiePie still on there? Yeah, he probably is.
Well, he got the one show canceled. I know after his racial tirade.
His meltdown.
Yeah.
And then there was I just had the guy Matt Pat. He had a show. Matt Pat's Game Lab was on there.
And then the what the hell's her name? The brothers, the React to.
Yeah, the Fine Brothers.
Fine Brothers.
Yeah, I can't believe they're a show.
Yeah.
You want to really react something? Show some kids some old shit at your own house.
And do you know they've actually sued people who try to take their concept to show people stuff? I'm like, you didn't create anything new. You're just showing people old shit. You know, the whole react to thing. You don't own that entire genre.
No, they're fucking retards.
Yeah.
You know, it's another.
It'd be like Steven Spielberg suing anybody that has a shark in their movie.
Yeah.
You didn't invent that genre.
You didn't invent the shark.
Although that might get us out of another Sharknado.
Oh, they're funny. They're hilariously stupid.
I only saw the first one. The first one was enough for me. I think we watched the second one. I think we watched the first two, and they were bad.
I've seen every one of them that's out there.
Actually, they said this last one coming up is going to be the last one thing.
Well, it's got to stop sometime.
Yeah.
As much as you want like 53 sequels to a good idea, you don't get that. But speaking of sequels.
Nice.
Deadpool 2's final trailer has dropped.
Oh, yes, it has.
Trevor alerted to me to something in it before we started. I can't believe I missed that.
I don't know. I want to ding your geek card by like 2 points for that.
Yeah, I deserve that. That fucking bring it on, One-Eyed Willy. That's just fucking hilarious. And it shows a lot of. I don't know how much we're really seeing about this movie. It shows like him putting a team together. X-Force, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
They're gonna call it. But Domino's in there. Domino's a character that's been in Deadpool off and on for a long time.
Domino is kind of like Deadpool's Harley Quinn, pretty much.
Yeah. Except she can kick his ass. Like with ease. Which I wouldn't mind getting my ass kicked by her either, but anyway.
But if you haven't watched the trailer, please go watch the trailer.
Yeah, please go watch it. Josh fucking Brolin, man. I can't believe how good he is in that. I don't know. I want to see how their portrayal of Cable really turns out. I could care less about Deadpool in this. I hate to say that, but I could really care less about Deadpool. I want to see how Cable's portrayed. Because Cable's one of my favorite comic book characters. He's such a dick.
Okay, I got to apologize for a second. My heat's about to kick on. I forgot to shut off my heat.
Oh, hold on. What?
The new office will not have this problem.
Oh, it's so warm. Oh, man.
Here, wait. Keep doing
it. Maybe we shouldn't use this. But that might look really crappy on video.
And I put this to you yesterday about the trailer. I have to admit, I'm actually more excited to see Deadpool 2 now than I am Infinity War.
I don't know, man. Infinity War it's a long time coming.
It is a long time coming, but Deadpool looks more fun.
It does. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, Deadpool was the original Deadpool film.
I still watch that to this day. I'll watch it at least once a month.
No, but it was one of those movies that was like, came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so good.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't believe how good it was to you know. And now you get the sequel coming out. And there's Ryan Reynolds is going to only play him.
Absolutely.
He's the one with fast. He can talk that fast or think that fast. I don't know how it is. But, it has to be good. Could it be good as the original one?
That's a bold statement. That's a bold statement.
Sequelitis. Here it comes.
Yeah. There's only been a handful of movies where the sequel's been better than the first one.
Terminator 2.
Star Trek 2.
Yes.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Wow, that's
probably the short list of.
That is a pretty short list, and that's a pretty high fucking bar right there.
It is. It's tough to beat Empire.
It is, and Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. But and Terminator 2, they're all difficult to beat.
Yeah, they are very difficult.
Terminator 2 is fucking really hard to beat.
It is really hard to beat.
He should have shot. Anyway, thinking about part where he's mowing down the fucking cop cars. That scene's so fucking cool. Anyway, but I don't know. Deadpool, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
They've already made fun of the DC universe. They've already made fun of Avengers: Infinity War. You know,
Josh Brolin originally being in Goonies.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Brolin. They've made fun of everything they can. I mean, I'm sure that's just the tip of the iceberg of what they're really going to hit on. You know, I don't know how much they probably got to get themselves in some sort of trouble. You know,
I don't know.
There has to be a line of which they have to say. It's like, you know, like he made fun of the Green Lantern in the original one.
Multiple times.
Because he deserved it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, do you think like them making fun of the Avengers: Infinity War? That's fine. It's still inside Marvel's house, which.
But they're not part of Marvel's house. Technically, they're still Fox.
I know, but Fox basically owns them. Let's be real.
The thing I like, and my wife and I were just talking about this, is she loves how he breaks the fourth wall. But I love how he breaks the fourth wall and says what everybody's thinking.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Fourth wall breaking characters, people love them.
Yeah.
Because they're, you know what I mean? They just turn and go, did you fucking see that?
Yeah.
You know?
Like in the first one where, you know, he's the opening sequence where he's killing everybody on the bridge and he puts the two swords into the guy and he's like, what the fuck is this? You thought this was a superhero movie. And yes, technically, this is murder. I mean, just, you know, coming up with shit like that.
The part in that same scene not long after where he's counting how many bullets because he forgot.
Yeah.
God, that scene's so funny. God, that's great. The part where he tries to punch out Colossus, that part's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that whole scene with Colossus.
Yeah.
Dad?
Yeah.
And then he's got Ajax there and he's talking and he just flings the hubcap like a... Yeah.
That's fucking great.
I mean, it's just... I might have to watch that movie tonight again.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might have to, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, gotta go, folks. We're gonna watch
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It is. Oh, man, it is so good.
And we got Infinity War coming out this week, actually, and then Deadpool less than a month from now.
Yeah, Deadpool's the 18th, I think, right?
14th of May, I believe.
Well, either one.
14th or 18th. And then
Yeah,
Infinity War is, what,
Friday.
24th, 27th?
Yeah,
So.
that should be Thursday.
Yeah.
No, it should be Thursday or Friday of next week.
Yeah, because today's
Which
the 20th.
you're not getting anywhere near that for a
No. I still haven't seen Black Panther. We never got a chance. The one time we did get a chance to go to the movies, it was pretty much either Ready Player One or Black Panther. So, what? Are you doing that to me?
Fuck. Yes, I'm doing that to you.
I'd rather see Ready Player One than Black Panther. I freely admit that, because I don't get many movie nights.
I agree. Well, fucking Black Panther's really good.
So
It's fucking really good.
I've heard. I really have heard. And I do want to see it eventually. Just with things going on, we got one movie trip in the past couple months, and I thought my son wanted to see Ready Player One, and I kind of wanted to make it a family event.
No, I
So,
would have done the
I
same
think he would have been bored at Black Panther. He's really not into the Marvel Universe. He liked the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and we wanted to sit down and watch the second one when it came out, and he made it about halfway through, and he walked away. It just didn't hold his attention.
Well, Kate was about the same way. Like halfway through the first one, it lost her attention.
Yeah.
But when we watched it at home,
Mm-hmm.
she was a lot better. Like
Yeah.
I find it's easier for her to watch that shit at home. You know, that's why I didn't take him to see Ready Player One, because they would have been lost on them.
Yeah. And see, he loved it. He loved picking out all the different video game characters, and
Yeah.
he loves the idea of the Oasis, which I absolutely love. That I would give him the book to read, but he wouldn't get a lot of the references. But
No.
the fact that it has a lot of 80s references may open up his mind, and he'll want to watch War Games and Monty Python and play some of the classic games, possibly.
Should give him Atari's Adventure. That'll fucking ruin his life.
Although he just finished the Spiderwick series, and I think he wants to read the Harry Potter series next. So
Ooh.
him and my wife are like, they're all over that. So
Well, just one more, Trev. You got to get rid of one more, and you'll be fine.
we can get rid of one more.
Well, that's why if they're all reading a book somewhere, they're not bothering you.
Well, that is true. Well, that's why I can't wait for this office to be done. I'm hoping by the end of June. And that way, when I'm just downstairs by myself, nobody around, in the basement.
$10 says the first day you're down there, they'll bother you.
That's why there's probably going to be a lock on the fucking door.
Okay.
So
there's that.
Yeah. Are you kidding? If I could afford it, that thing I have a finger or a thumbprint reader on there.
Yeah. Fucking retinal scanner.
Yeah. So.
I can see you installing that. It's fucking stuck in my head for the next day now.
Are you kidding? I already ordered wireless lights for it with remote controls.
Really?
Yeah, I got them on the kitchen table. They're little battery-powered pucks that basically I'm going to use them as accent lights, like underneath the desk and stuff like that when I'm doing wiring. And they have wireless remotes, and you just turn it on, and that way you can crawl underneath there, and that way I don't
That's
have
a great idea.
That way I don't have to have. I'll have regular lighting, but this will just be accent lighting. So
maybe you can put some lights inside Rob the Robot.
I don't have a Rob the Robot yet.
Well, no, but I'm just saying you could.
So.
Make his eyes light up, fucking creep people out. Red lights and shit. I wonder how much Rob is.
He's going for it.
I am. I'm going right to it. eBay Rob the Robot.
So I don't try to go on eBay anymore because eBay gets me in trouble because inevitably I look up Dreamcast games, and after buying 3 or 4 games, I'm like, okay, I got to slow down. Walk away from eBay.
OEM Robotic Operating Bunny. There we go. What they want for this one? About this product. Oh, 100. Oh, I don't know. Anywhere. The Famicom one's about $60.
That's not bad.
Well, that's just the robot.
I was going to say, because that's all you really want is just the robot.
I would like this full set if I could get it.
Really?
Yeah, why not? I have an NES.
Would you ever actually pull it out
No.
and play it? Thank you. Then what's the point of spending all that extra money?
No, but I'm just saying, if I got one cheap,
I don't know.
is Rob worth the money?
I think he's worth the money. I would seriously pay $10 for one that someone told me was broken, but was still in pretty much one piece. Like if they say, oh, he's not functional, I wouldn't give a shit.
No, I probably wouldn't either. Like there's like a full set's at least $125.
Yeah. I don't need the gyros and the blocks and the weights and fuck that shit.
Wow. All right. Well, we could get Captain N fucking jacket. You know.
So I do have to talk about one thing because I have to talk about it every single podcast. Much to your chagrin, Raspberry Pis. These little wonderful computers right here.
No, I'm just kidding. I like my Raspberry Pi. I only have one. I don't need 9 like you do, but
Starting this week, Target is now carrying Raspberry Pis in their stores.
really,
Yes, they are.
you don't have to wait to buy one anymore.
Nope.
You just
I
run-
actually just looked on their website to see if our store had one, and they do. They're $34.99, and you could go buy a Raspberry Pi right now. They're only the Model B, not the B+, but you could go. Now, I don't think they sell the cases, so you're just basically going to get the board, but the fact that's stuff. The fact that I could go tonight, well, not now, they're closed, but I can go tomorrow morning and pick up a Raspberry Pi, considering we don't have a Fry's or a Micro Center anywhere near us, is fantastic.
That is fantastic. Maybe I could buy another. See, I'd love to get one so I could just make a for my kid, for Kate. She has like one of those fucking Samsung DVD players with that shitty streaming service built in.
Oh, yeah.
You had that, right? You had one of them?
Yeah.
I think it's just a little Pi.
I actually gave it to my wife. She uses it at school.
Did she?
Yeah.
At least it got used.
So, yeah, I stopped using it in the bedroom a long time ago when we got the Apple TV. I'm actually thinking about getting a Raspberry Pi in the office as a desktop. Because I have a KVM switch. I got an adapter to turn the HDMI port, which is actually right there, into a VGA to run into the KVM. That way I could have a Pi directly hooked up to the keyboard and mouse and not run over the network via VNC. Why?
Oh.
I don't know, but it's something I can do.
Yeah.
So
Damn. Actually, I'm actually thinking about redoing my Pi and starting it over. That's what I like about that is you could just
yeah,
fucking.
which they did release last week, RetroPie 4.4. So I just updated mine the
I
other
was thinking
day.
about actually going online and finding a like complete package already done
Hmm.
and just
Well,
skip all the
before
bullshit
you do that, make sure to make a backup copy.
of my current one.
Yeah,
Okay.
go into Apple Pie Baker, and
Yeah.
then it's actually called put it in the freezer, and it'll make a copy. You have to use the same size card. So if you have what do you have, a 64,
I think
128?
I have 100. I have 128.
128. So when you make that image, even though you say you only have 70 gigabytes on there, it's going to make a full 128 gigabyte image of it. So if you ever need to restore that, you have to use a 128 gigabyte card or bigger. You wouldn't be able to go down, like say you only have 50 gigabytes on that, but it's a 128 gigabyte card. It's going to make the image 128 gigabytes, even though there's only 50 on there. So you wouldn't be able to go back with a
So
64.
so it's to restore it.
Yeah,
Essentially.
you still
Okay.
need that original card size. It just doesn't
Yeah.
back up the files that are on there. It backs up the entire card in one large chunk, if that makes sense.
That's truly smart. Yeah, I have to start looking around for like a pre-completed set
Hmm.
that I could, because you know what, like I was going through and doing all the fucking, I got sick of doing it, so I just want to find one that's already done.
I started doing the video scrapes for a while, and it got so
Tedious.
not so much tedious. It got frustrating because only certain themes support the video snapshots.
Yeah.
So I had them all. I had them for a bunch of Atari games, which was fun because the Atari games, the videos are so small, it's not even funny. And
Yeah.
so I had a bunch of that, but then you go to this theme and now they don't work. So now it's broken. You just have an image. Well, you go to this theme and now you have that 3D box and the video, and I don't know.
I don't know. I'm always on the hunt for like a 64 or 128 gigabyte image that's already
Mhm.
done. You know, just to I want to see what, like I've gone to some sites, not sites I should say, but some Facebook pages
Hmm.
that'll tell you what good ones are. Like I've told that Raze is a really good one, but I also told it's very broken.
I've heard um, Motion Blue image is very good.
Mm.
So I remember that first one. I remember Blue, but Motion Blue is an image that it does the attract mode on there, has that built into it. That they say that's very nice.
Motion Blue Retro Pie. Oh, there we go. Well, we'll be looking for that.
So
Plus, you want it to have all the ROMs already built in.
that's
You
the
know,
thing. I've done so much work on my Raspberry Pi, or my Retro Pi, I should say, to get almost, well, I have all the NES, SNES, Master System, Atari, Genesis, and N64 ROMs, even though N64 really can't be played on there. And I have.
Well, does that work on the Model B Plus, or is it
I don't know. I didn't play around with the B Plus.
like what's the difference with that?
The B Plus has gigabit Ethernet. It has AC Wi-Fi, and it's an extra 200 or 300 megahertz on the processor. Still quad core. The RAM hasn't increased. The video chipset hasn't increased. So I got, well, this is my old Plex server right here. We had a power surge, or I should say a power hiccup a couple weeks ago during a storm, and it just did something to it. I don't know exactly what it did, but you could only play videos through the Plex server for 10 minutes at a time. And then it would just lose, anything would lose connection to the Plex server. And you literally had to go in and reboot the Pi. I did a re-image. The re-image didn't do anything. So I bought a B plus, which I wanted to get for the Plex server anyway because it'll move it up to gigabit Ethernet, which is because everything's wired downstairs. So the throughput was faster because I've replaced all the switches in the house with gigabit switches, and I've noticed a pretty decent increase. It doesn't skip or stutter. It takes less time to buffer. So that right there is your processor right there running the transcoding a little better, and you get a little bit of extra speed. But if you went to something like a Tinkerboard or the other one that's out there that I can't remember the name of, but not only does it have a faster, actually about the same processor now that the B Plus has, but you're going up in RAM. You're doubling your RAM to 2 gigabytes of RAM. That would make a difference as well. So, as for the RetroPie, I don't know. I don't know if ETA Prime did a video. I'll have to check that out. See if he did a video on the B Plus.
I didn't see it on my usual feed.
Yeah. Because he does some great work with RetroPie and Raspberry Pi, doing all the different configurations. Although lately he's been doing a lot of Ryzen stuff, doing PC emulation, like PS2 emulation. He's big in the PS3.
I saw his PS2 emulation video. It was pretty cool, actually. I gotta admit.
And he's doing PS3 emulation now. And
why would I emulate a system I still have?
So, I could tell you a very good reason.
Why?
Free ROMs.
True. But,
so
who knows?
But I don't know what the B Plus is on the if it would affect, because the three big things that hold you back, the three big systems that hold you back that are available on RetroPie and RetroArch, which is what RetroPie is based off of, is N64, Dreamcast, and PSP. They're the ones that the Pi has a problem with. Like, I still have my entire N64 collection. Some games work okay. Some games just stutter the shit out of it. I tried one PSP game, and it's the Soul Calibur game, which kind of runs And
well, I tell you, like, I played the PSP on that emulator that you gave me for the computer.
Yeah.
And that works perfect.
Yeah. Well, you're also running off a much better chip. You're not running off an ARM chip. You're running off an Intel i5 quad core with 8 or 16 gigabytes of RAM, whatever you have in there.
Yeah.
So, you paid a couple $100 for your Mac, where these are $35.
Yeah, no,
you get what you pay for. But I mean, these things are just an incredible value. I can't recommend a Pi enough. And that's my Pi rant for the week, because every show I gotta have a Pi.
Go buy another one. Well, you know what? This is like, I'm just gonna say it so it's on the episode for this week. Yeah. Toys R Us something.
I went to Toys R Us last week.
Did you?
Still 10% off. The big signs that say up to 30% off. The only thing we saw that was more than 10% off was safety equipment for bikes. The helmets and the pads were 20% off, which I was going to buy Jack a set of...
helmets and pads?
Well, he has helmets, but I was going to buy him a set of elbow and knee pads because he really wants to get into skateboarding. We bought him a skateboard. I said, before you really start riding everywhere, I said, I want you to have some pads on. $30 for a set of pads and only 20% off. I'm like, I can get this cheaper on Amazon at 20% off.
And that's why Toys R Us is closing.
Yes.
So.
Which, speaking of closing, 2 big closures this week. Bon-Ton is closing all their stores, and our local Sears is closing. So at our mall, we just lost 2 out of 4 anchors.
Yep.
So
I heard somebody already is going into the Bon-Ton.
I heard they had interest, which everyone automatically online was like, Dave & Buster's, which I'd be all for.
God, that'd be awesome.
Alcohol plus arcade games? Shit, yeah.
I don't know if they can get that inside the mall, though.
No, there's a mall in New York my ex and I went to that was 5 levels, and the top level was a Dave & Buster's. They had a fucking roller coaster in the mall. In the top floor, coming out of Dave & Buster's.
Bless America. I said to say it that way.
It was somewhere up in New York. I don't even remember was it the Palisades Mall? It might have been, but yeah, it's just the top floor they had. It was actually a roller coaster, but instead of the roller coaster cars, they were NASCARs. Which
that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dave & Buster's inside either one of them.
Which, again, 40-something, we're old enough. I remember, and you probably do too, when there used to be a bar inside the mall.
Oh, yeah, barrels. Barrels.
That's how far everyone smoked in the mall. It didn't matter. And
well, I remember
there was
when
a bar.
I worked for Electronics Boutique, and Mike.
Remember him? Yes, you can't forget Mike Lurch.
Nobody can. Fucking Lurch. He'd walk out of that store when we were closing, fucking light up a fucking fucking Marlboro 100, smoke it all the way out of the mall.
Yep.
And yeah, you could do that then.
You could.
You know, that's the Clean Air Act that did that.
That's when everyone smoked everywhere. In the mall, in the restaurants.
Hospitals,
and,
fucking...
Yeah. Now it's illegal to smoke with kids in the car, which I do think is a good thing, but...
I totally agree with it.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. That's not something I ever did. Not with my kids, anyway. Your kids, I blow right in their face.
Nah. Fuck them.
Anyway, now that I know it's to the right, it'll be the thing I do more often.
I gotta remember it's to my left,
Yeah.
So
It's yeah, okay.
I think we ran this horse out.
I think we ran it out about 15 minutes ago and just kept talking.
I apologize for the hour and 50-some minutes you lost in your life listening to this.
Yeah, but we gained. No, you lost. Yeah,
you lost big time.
You lost big time.
Nothing insightful or life-changing in this podcast.
No. Well, no. I was going to say something Labo related or Bill Nye or Bill Mitchell, but no. We just learned that Bill Mitchell's a filthy cheater.
Yeah.
And
Bill Nye is still awesome.
Yeah. We don't need to recap the show.
No. Although I do want to go back to college now and get an esports scholarship.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you get out of that in the long run? That's for next week.
Yeah, we'll find out what you get.
Yeah.
Enrollment's next week, kids. No.
Yeah. Well, we should go up there and get a picture of us.
Seriously? Yeah.
Getting fucking enrolled in it.
It's a good question.
All right. Shut this down.
Mom always said I should go back to school and get a degree.
Yeah, but I don't think she meant a degree in Halo 5.
Halo 5 is probably considered retro gaming by now for these kids.
Yeah. Halo 5's still good, though. All right, anyway. All right, shut this down.
Okay. Thank you for everyone for listening. I don't know how you're listening or watching. You could be watching on YouTube, listening through iTunes, listening through our site, or I threw out a tweet after the last episode posted, actually 2 weeks ago. You can now listen to us on any Alexa-enabled device. Shut up, my girl. And all you got to do is ask her, play podcast, 40-something podcast. And we're partnered with TuneIn, and you can get it on any Amazon Alexa-enabled device.
Awesome.
So you don't even have to touch anything. You could just ask her to give you our podcast, and she will deliver.
Man, that's fantastic.
It is.
That's a really funny video, especially on top of the Dreamcast. It almost made me think like you modified it just to be at Amazon, but then I realized it's just sitting on top of it.
I literally have Dreamcasts everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know that's true.
I do. I need something to hold up this table. Can you get me a Dreamcast?
So yeah. Also, definitely hit up iTunes. Give us a like, a star, a review, a subscription, all that fun stuff. Same thing, YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube, because I did. So you should.
So, Jerry, been a pleasure as always.
Absolutely.
And in 2 weeks, I don't know, I doubt we both will have seen Infinity War, but maybe in 2 weeks we could talk a little bit of Infinity War if we get to see it.
Copy that.
So
hopefully we will.
Hopefully it'd be fun.
Yeah.
So, till then, guys, be safe, be good. I will see you in 2 weeks.